write from the safety of a nation built on slavery, and this poem will migrate through tongues. The wrongs of our forefathers, places in the world our fathers will escape the movement of my father through the throngs of the seas sent me here with the children of the fathers who believe they were best. But my father was allowed through their barriers because he was educated and did medicine, so came from the dark continent through to the west. And so a boy was born. Many are not so lucky. They cannot speak to you. They don't grow up surrounded by words you'd understand. My tongue is like a weapon in my hand. I manipulate it. I make noise. I try to make you understand. The world extends beyond your borders. The mind extends beyond your words. Your lives, your sons, your daughters are 1 in a billion. It's true, but the remaining 999 million are just as beautiful. I speak to you ولكن ليس لك فقط. نعم للأطفال من سوريا أيضا واحد في المليون. منيت من أرضك وصلت لغتك. أنا أريد أتحدث إليكم بلغتك. ربما كلماتي تزل على الصوت وغرق. ربما إلى الشمس بعد كل ذلك. The sun deals in words and in fear. Tashirat Sahla بالنسبة لنا, we do not enter there to enter there, but you flee from war or the Nabka we created and you cannot enter here. Una lengua que se encuentra en la línea de fila entre colonizador y colonizado, español. Hoy es la lengua de inmigrantes y jardineros, pero una vez es la lengua del conquistador. Aparentemente toda América del Sur es mexicano, no hay inmigración interna al continente, conocimientos perdidos. Cuando inglés, tu Google inmigración en South America, el primer adulto en Estados Unidos. Realmente, es casi una broma. Guatemala, is that a type of cheese? Bro, man, es similar. Y aprender el idioma, pero el nombre de su país, that's too much to know, man. You're a Mexican and show us some respect again because we're American. We'll build a wall to keep you out and then deport the rest of them. ¿Crees que nos importa que tú huyas de la cartera y la guerra o que trata de moverse a través de la tierra? No, no nos importa. We do not care. El mundo terminó in Texas and we are the best. Y embora visitó Brasil por los Juegos Olímpicos y no pienso en dislocados porque o podías. Through all this, the Englishman is chilling, the American is grilling, le Parisien c'est ça. Fortes sont le passeport et faibles sont la conscience. L'homme qui diable sont l'autre, qui donne des sautaines à Theresa May et Marine Le Pen, messenger de la haine. Nous sommes ici parce que vous étiez là-bas. Vous n'avez jamais la visa. L'arabe, asiatique, le noir, qui représentent le damné de la terre, dont le parole de Fanon est le dame de la terre. Le dame en arabe, il représente le sang de la terre, le sang sur la terre, and the blood on the water. And it was written, young men detained, sent to Jamaica when you spent your whole life in Britain, defaced by the state, allegations of sexual assault, no media debate. Campsfield is minutes away from the Sheldonian. Migration, detention, disgrace. The waves cannot be ruled. The waves, they wash away and start anew. The graves remain. One cannot wash a tomb. The waves we whitewash history cannot stop the waves from breaking. The waves of colour grew. The floodgates of Calais cannot remain. We pave another route to you. You pave roads so you can take our loot and use them as excuse. We watch you act unwise in Little England, setting ground for your demise. You join an economic bloc, then act as though you're colonized. Your fear betrays you. We cannot now allay your fears. You set the table of your fate, and now the plate is almost here. You fed and feed upon our states until our plates were empty, yet we were and are always here. Like the language in this song our news is skewed. We only hear of refugees we fear may break our borders soon. 26% of refugees in Africa, Sub-Sahara, nchini Cameroon. Hawaonge Kiswahili kwa sababu nchi moja. South Sudan Fidianda. Awanareko mando jitu awanarako. Awanare ilu oimbo ma begbe edewon. Timba fe so Yoruba mamami amako mi die subo English rolls off my tongue. Français roule à travers le Sahara. Uranium de Niger puissant pour la Torre Eiffel. Domin Hausa Mutani, Babu, Utalantaki, Babu Rua, c'est pas Rigel. Of African refugees, 3% in Europe. Maybe our man just wants to find our way to safety. Europe is a cultural creation separated from the other peninsula of the Asian continent we know. Nothing geographical to separate, not large outside Mercator, no plate like the subcontinent of India though. Africa is a geographical entity meant to be huge, mostly water on each side with 3,000 languages, more linguistic diversity than 30 Europe. Languages die or are they murdered? Displaced words like bodies displaced, migrate, immigrate, immigrant, dirty, Negro, native. Go back to the colonies, the princess says. So there we go. Where to start and where to end. Lubnon in a shungho, kulel tam and leo. Mayo Rohingya, mayo. Ispa partition the stage. Kiskaraj, kiskaraj. Ek alak dunia aaj ka muda hai. Lutkab Hindi se lut liya. Mahan Kelly Sanskrit sahab alien hai. Brahmin or Safadi, foundation of fear, and Dogan Shutkanir man Kashmir his and Bangladesh boundary taught. Icha Parag, Felani Khaton Kemot, Elaine Kurdi, Malt, Peter Salaby, dead. Others can live if the boundaries will die. Let's start again. The British passport gets you into 157 countries in this world. The American passport gets you into 157 countries in this world. The French passport gets you into 157 countries in this world. The Somali passport gets you into 31 countries in this world, and the Afghan passport gets you into 25. This is the legacy of colonialism. Now, when I was composing this poem, it was actually very difficult. You see, I have actually got a fairly decent level of comprehension in a lot of these languages. There's the distinction between passive and active vocabulary. Passive vocabulary is where you understand when it comes, but you don't really have the ability to bring it to your head yourself. Active is when you can write and you can do everything like that. Now, why do I say that? Because obviously it made a difference in writing the poem, but also because for me, words like visa and migration, etc. When you have countries in the world which can go and cause refugees through their aggressive warlike policies, or have economic migration because of a history of economic exploitation, where people from poor parts of the world come to people from rich places in rich parts of the world, and the national dialogue around visas and migration is so skewed. I don't believe these words even lie in the passive vocabularies of some people in the so-called developed world. And so what we find is that people don't even know the true meaning of a word like visa, queuing up for hours, or just to be rejected, or a word like migrant in their own language as they traverse the world, carefree, famously, at least in the British case, refusing, despite their golden ticket, their passport, to learn any other. And so I hope this poem at least makes you think about some of that today. Thank you.